So your energy manifests, and I see you as your body sitting in like a school desk. I see a blackboard in front of you, and I see this big clock above the blackboard. And I see you have this open book, and you're scribbling down in the book, and you're like taking notes frivolously, not frivolously. You're taking notes furiously, like with really rapid speed and motion. It's like you're trying to get it all done, and you keep looking at the clock, and it's like I'm waiting for this clock, the both hands to reach like the 12 at the top. It feels like we're waiting, counting down. It's like almost there, and I see finally you're like writing, and as soon as those two hands meet at the 12, it's like the book then it's like you get up, and it's really interesting because you almost wrap the book in this red ribbon, and you tie this like bow around it, and you put it on the top of your head, and like the vision of like that classroom, the blackboard, the desk that you're sitting in, it all kind of disappears, and you start to now walk in a straight line, balancing this book on your head. And so books for me are always like wisdom and knowledge, and so the fact that it was like acquiring this, and it was like almost this countdown for acquiring this knowledge, and now it's like this knowledge, as soon as that time ran out or that time hit, the knowledge all kind of secures in this book. It's like you wrap it up as if it's a gift, and you set it on top of your head, and now it's like you're in manners class where you're trying to walk steadily, balancing all of this knowledge, this wisdom on top of your head, and you're walking in this straight line. And so all of a sudden now I see you walking, and like the landscape changes to like this huge cavern. I see these like big cliff walls, and there's this huge gaping hole in between these two giant cliffs, and there's this like tightrope, and I see you now walking, balancing this wisdom, this knowledge on your head, and you're walking now towards this tightrope. And so I'm getting that there's this like balancing, there's this great journey, type of a thing. It's like very kind of adventure, and I see you now walking across the tightrope. It's like you're going from one phase to the next phase, and you're still balancing all this wisdom, this knowledge on your head, and you're slowly, cautiously kind of walking across this tightrope now, trying to get to the other side. And so as soon as you get to the other side, I get this kind of knowing of this old movie called The Never-Ending Story. And Sebastian is this kid who basically is reading this story, and as he's reading this story, he's kind of getting pulled into this story. And so I see this kind of happen for you, where as soon as you get to the other side, it's like you find this cave on the wall, and you scoot into this cave, and it's almost just the size of your body. So your head's like right at the front of the cave, and your feet are at the very back touching the cave. You're laying on your stomach, and you have this book now that was wrapped on top of your head open in front of you, and it's like a blank slate. All this wisdom, all this knowledge is this open book. And I see as it's almost like now you're creating what's in this book, and it's like I feel very creator modes happening, and I feel like you're creating the landscape, you're creating the adventure, and so you're deciding what goes inside this book right now. And I see you laying down, kind of creating this, and as we're looking out at that like cavern, the bungee cord kind of that you just walked across, and the big gaping kind of cavernous thing with the mountain sides. I see this, and I see as you're almost reading this book and writing or creating what's going to happen next, I almost get that like, let's create like clouds and sunshine and a rainbow. Let's create something happy and easy and fun. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. And I'm watching as you're creating, and you create another like adventure, and I'm now getting this like feeling of Indiana Jones and the search for the Holy Grail. And it's like, nope, I'm not going to take the easy road. So you now tie the book back up with the red ribbon and the bow. Instead of putting it on your head this time, you put it on like a backpack, and so the book's on your back. And you create another, so you've created this, and you create this another like bungee cord attaching the two cliffs on the sides of the mountains, and you start running across it, and I feel like spears and bows are kind of like being shot at you, and it's again another adventure and this like excitement and this journey, and you're like sweating as you're running across, and you like put your back up against the cave wall or this big like mountainside wall, the cliff that you're now on, and you like go into this next kind of cavern, and it's like you pull the book out again, and it's blank pages, and you create this next adventure. And it's like, okay, then you tie the book back, you put it on your backpack again, and now you're walking up there's this huge tunnel, and it's like almost like this golden lava flow is coming down, and it's like super hot, and your feet, you're like stepping back and forth. It's like zigzagging. This lava stream is like zigzagging back and forth up the side of this mountain, and you're like scaling it inside this mountain. It's almost as if you're on the log ride at Disneyland, and you know how it like pulls you up, 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 all the way up the mountainside, and then it drops you straight down. Like, I feel like that's kind of the anticipation of what's coming. Like, you're in this tunnel, and this lava flow is zigzagging down, and you're jumping left and right and back and forth and up, trying to get higher and higher, following this lava flow. And your feet are really hot. I can see you're bouncing. So maybe there's this quality, anytime like it has to do with feet and ground and unstable ground, there could be something about, root chakra not feeling very comfortable in the moment, or what's manifesting, or not even unsure, not stable right now. And so you're bouncing back and forth. And I feel like it's this golden lava flow, which is really interesting. So I feel like we're like seeking that holy grail, that destiny's kind of going to be at the top. And as soon as you get to the top, it's like it's a blank canvas again. And so I feel like there's this seeking of adventure, there's this seeking of excitement and a journey. And as soon as you get to the very top of that mountain, I'm waiting to see what you're going to look at. And it's this blank slate again. And so from here, then I see, for me, this, and I mean, it's for both of us, but for me personally, it's in this phase of this storytelling. I see a door frame, and I see you getting ready now to move through this next door frame. And so this is going to, for me anyways, tell us where we are with you in the chakras, and reading kind of what's going on right now. And so what I see is you jump through this door frame, and you're still on the top of the mountain, and the door frame is kind of right on the top of this mountain, and you jump through it, and it's like you have skydiving gear on with a parachute, and you jump through, and you open the parachute, and it takes you all the way up. And I feel that you're not all the way up as high as you can go, so I know we're not in crown chakra, but I feel that we're in your third eye chakra. And so as you're kind of just coasting in the air and letting the air currents take you, I'm seeing what you're seeing down below. You're seeing a complete perspective, like you are seeing the full picture of what's going on in your life. And this is like a huge A+, right? If we were to grade you right now, this is talking about what you're understanding, what you're comprehending in your life, and where you are in your chakras and kind of energy right now. And I'm getting that you have a very clear vision of what's going on in life right now. Like, the perspective is right on. Like, you are able to see kind of all options. You have the high kind of place on the mountaintop, being able to see everything in front of you. And so what happens now is you kind of let you detach from the parachute, and you take on one of those like base jumping suits that makes you look like you're a flying squirrel. And you now start, like, your arms, instead of out, are like tucked back against the sides of your body, and you're zooming down, like straight down the mountainside type of a thing. And again, I'm getting like adventure, excitement. And so you fly down, and then as soon as you get to the bottom, you're at the very bottom of the mountain, right on the ground, on the grass. And I know your family, so I see you surrounded by the 4 members of your family. And so they're all giving you hugs and kisses, and just embracing you. And so anytime you touch to the ground, that's root chakra, which is again family. It's connection, it's presence, it's grounding, it's foundation, it's job, career. It's all of that kind of tribal, that like very primal connection stuff. And so I get you hugging and kissing these people, and I feel like it's almost like I feel like it's a let go, but I feel like it's almost like the people who come and stand on the side of the ship as they wave off people. It's almost like a bon voyage kind of thing. And from here, you tap on the ground, and you skyrocket back up, and you propel straight up into the air again. And you're in that kind of flying squirrel jumpsuit, and you're soaring up in the air. And I feel like it's this like freedom, this expansion, and then basically your body now you're going at a trajectory that's down again, and now I see you kind of heading towards this big factory, and I see one of those like big steam pipes on top of a factory, and you go right to it, and you actually like go down in this metal pipe that's like pumping out black kind of smoke, and there's this huge kind of like really gray cast, black cast factory, old, dirty, and you're diving down in the middle of it. And I'm getting factory, so I know this is your Akashic records. So whenever we're in the Akashic records, this is kind of representing the divine wisdom, your destiny, your kind of connection into the divine. And so I'm getting this like really kind of dirty, old factory, and I get it that it's like working really hard and it's pumping out all this black smoke. And you're now in the middle of the factory, and I see you fall all the way down into like an open area on the bottom floor of the factory, and there's this like old, dirty, like red Oriental carpet, and there's this chair, and I see you now sitting there in the thinking man position with your fist balled up and your chin on your fist, and it's like this very contemplative position or posture, and I see like the factory above you is all connected down into your head. And so I'm now understanding that it's probably pointing towards, because we were talking third eye has to do with the brain, the mental capacity, the ego, the thoughts, and so you have a lot of clarity and wisdom from what I saw. But now I'm getting that with this factory and the divine connection is that you're probably on overdrive right now. Like your mental thoughts and everything going on inside your head, it might feel like chaotic. It might feel like you don't know what's a divine inspirational thought and what's an ego thought. I just get that your mind is actually working on overdrive right now, and it probably feels almost stressed inside of your head, like you might be in this really kind of crazy mental state. Like a lot, I just get like your thoughts are probably producing like a factory. That's kind of like the exact example of what I'm visually seeing. And so from here, I call down your higher self, and I ask your higher self. Your higher self comes down and sits down right in front of you, actually, which is really interesting. A lot of times when the higher self comes down, I lose contact with the physical body that I was seeing that was representing you, and I'm now engaged in the higher self. But what happens is your higher self comes down, and I'm asking what's for the greatest good for this person to know at this moment in time. And and your higher self doesn't talk to me, which usually that happens. What I see is your higher self positions himself right in front of you in this thinking chair, and basically creates an infinity sign connection between his brain and your brain. And what I'm getting is this complete flow of divine inspiration and wisdom in between you as a physical being and this higher self physical being or spiritual being that represents you in this energy form. And so basically what it looks like is this figure eight that's laying on its side, and the two ball circles of the figure eight are connecting on your brain and your higher self's brain. And what I'm getting is this harmonizing of and balancing of thoughts. And so as this is happening in this connection, this golden light is being connected between you and your higher self, the whole factory changes and everything turns into color, and there's like books, and everything organizes itself and aligns itself, and it calms down. It's like the factory thoughts that were happening subside, and now it's like you have pure divine connection. And so then I talk to your higher self. I say, what's for the greatest good for this person to know at this moment in time? And they say basically that you need that your thoughts are your thoughts are right on, and your thoughts are divine, and your thoughts are pure, but you're having so many thoughts that it's hard. And they're saying that you're very connected into the highest good and the highest perspective for you, and you know perspective wise like what should be happening and what you should be doing, but they say that I think you're being very confused, or maybe you're questioning the thoughts. And so when you start to question divine inspiration, you start to get a lot of ego rebuttal to your thoughts. And so that's when it's almost like bipolar thoughts going back and forth in your head, or everything that's being thought in your head then gets questioned and analyzed and kind of convoluted. And so it seems like what they're reminding you is that you are very divinely connected into your highest inspiration and what needs to go on. And my hand keeps doing this figure 8 by my own forehead. Like right now, I'm drawing this figure 8 in front of my own physical body right now. I feel like you're so very connected into the mental capacity of the higher spiritual self. It's like you know exactly what's coming up, what needs to be done. You have the inspiration. I get that there's this good feeling attached to it, and you need to stop maybe questioning or allowing that ego brain. So become more in harmony with the divine inspiration that you're receiving with those thoughts in your head. Just start to agree to every kind of thought that comes through, and don't question it, and start to balance out the thoughts, because it seems like that's what they're showing us, is that you're very aligned and very connected into that. And everything that they showed thus far, it's, everything's been wisdom. Everything's been very wisdom oriented, from the school books and acquiring the wisdom to balancing that wisdom in the life, and then being able to be a creator and creating your own kind of adventure and manifesting that. And it's like you always have the blank page, which somebody who's very open in a mental body or a mental capacity has the ability to kind of write their own history. So it's a really interesting place to be in. I think just stay very connected, divinely aligned. And what you can do every morning and every night is just start to run golden figure 8s in your own brain. Like you have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere in your brain. So just visualize, take 10 deep breaths every morning and every night, and visualize that golden figure 8 moving in between your own left hemisphere and right hemisphere, bringing all of that good power right into the middle, and the pineal gland right in the middle, and just breathe into that knowing, and try and see that golden light and feel that movement in your head. And I think that'll just help you keep very calm and balanced in what you receive, because when people don't know that they're receiving their highest destiny, the highest wisdom, it can feel like a lot of mental power. And so also, because we saw your family in the grounding capacity, I think to stay very rooted in the earth and try and stay very present in your life, because people who are head heavy, like it seems like you're very easily receptive to this mental body. You need to stay very grounded. So that means being present, don't be distracted. Find the things in life that make you happy and do those things, and be engrossed in those things to really help balance out both of those energies. So with light and love.